She is my moral support.
I'm with her.
It feels like a hard divide, yeah, between elementary school and middle school. We were always more grown up than everybody.
I'll be the first one to vote for you, Dawn. No joke. Make it so they make phones so old people can
Yeah, make sure teachers get paid. I know, I don't know what this slot thing, I don't know what this slot thing is. No, he's in wrestling down there. Yeah, one thousand.
He's looking like so hip with the rest of his
Oh,
stuff. He's, you know,
badass. Dude, Bruno. He's got it all together.
you still have some to play CD player on? CD. My students look at me like,
Three that would work well together.
oh, we have my students play.
The only thing I have to play is I have a sign in my record player. It's like a combo.
Where you feel like,
I know, and Gio was putting the CD part on the combo thing. And I was like, okay. I just, would just like the old music. You know that? I was like, no, it's not a movie. Thank you. I'm like, you want to be old, and I thought it was playing for keys of my records. And I was like,
I spent all afternoon just arising. I do that stuff. Now, me, with the men, she's there. And I'm saying to the lady, it's like, do you have one of those what they used to call jitterbugs? Like, no, I don't make
be
that.
like that all the time. And I was like, that's it. I said, New Year, I'm getting a new phone. I got the instrument. Oh, yeah. And I'm like, I don't know what it is, but it's.
I'll figure it out in school. I can do the tech downs. I think I have to be like doing other people's problems, you know.
It's that project.
You're not orthodox.
Right?
You can
Got it, lady.
No, the mom they want to fix everything. That's the reality.
And I'm afraid that never stops.
stomach is here.
If you hear the phone ring, it's Mike.
No, I said that what you wrote there is better to give to a principal when you're very specific. It's not, but if you don't hear anything back and then changes, then yes.
Yeah, you have to go up the channel.
We're learning about the channels and
Super hard to do.
How do we answer this? That one? Hey, Phil, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. We're just kind of gathering now.
Okay.
You moved down.
Yeah, that's how often these get changed.
Why don't you guys move up so that Jordan and Hayden can kind of. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Okay, it's okay, Anthony. You can. We'll let you move.
No, I'll look. I don't remember seeing the thing. Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Abington Heights School Board meeting for Wednesday, February 15th. Would everyone please rise and pledge the flag? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mrs. O'Day, can we have roll call?
Mr. Abdullah,
Here.
Mr. Azar,
Here.
Mr. Fleming,
Mike?
Here.
okay. Mrs. Henderson,
Here.
Mrs. Karam,
Here.
Mr. Medensky,
Here.
Mr. Robeson,
Here.
Mrs. Tierney,
Here.
Mr. Acker,
Here.
all present.
May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
Hey, Mike, can you mute your,
On the
Computer.
motion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Abdullah,
Yes.
Mr. Azar,
Yes.
Mr. Fleming,
Mr. Fleming?
Yes.
Mrs. Henderson,
no,
Yes.
Mrs. Karam,
Yes.
Mr. Medensky,
Yes.
Mr. Robeson,
Yes.
Mrs. Tierney,
Yes.
Mr. Acker,
Yes.
9-0.
May we have a motion to approve the minutes for the school board meeting of February 1st? So moved. Excuse me,
Second.
February 2nd, thank you.
No, there's 2 minutes on there.
do you have the one that's highlighted?
I see February 15th.
The one in January and
January 18th and February 1st. Right here.
Okay, thank you very much. Approve the minutes for meetings of January 18th and February 1st, my mistake.
Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Fleming?
Yes.
I know I didn't do roll
No,
call
no,
yet.
don't do roll call.
Roll call, please, I'm sorry.
Mr. Azar,
Yes.
Mr. Fleming. You got him. Mrs. Henderson,
Yes.
Mrs. Karam,
Yes.
Mr. Medensky,
Yes.
Mr. Robeson,
Yes.
Mrs. Tierney,
Yes.
Mr. Abdullah,
Yes.
Mr. Acker,
Yes.
9-0.
Can we please have the report for our great student representatives, Jordan Colombo and Hayden Lamb?
All right.
The next few weeks are quite busy at the high school. The Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery is being offered to students on February 22nd. Beginning in March, course recommendations will start and counselors will be offering guidance on course selection. The Abington Heights Music Department will be performing Annie musical. Lead Ann Butovich was featured in School Notes on 212 for her role and contribution to the play. The winter semi-formal dance will be this Saturday, 7 to 10 p.m. at the Surrey Cultural Center. The senior class will be hosting the annual pasta dinner this Tuesday, 4 to 7 p.m. in the high school cafeteria. All proceeds will be benefiting the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society in honor of an AH graduate, Ashley Ellman. Parent-teacher conferences will be held Tuesday, the 22nd, from 1 to 5 p.m. and 6:15 to 8:15 p.m.
All winter sports are wrapping up their regular season games and heading into postseason. The boys basketball team finished their regular season with a 19-13 overall with a win over West Grand last night. They are 11-2 in the league play and tied for first place with Valley View. They'll face off with the Cougars on this Friday, February 17th at 7:30. The game will be played at Scranton High School. The boys are going into the District 2 Class 5A as the number 1 seed, and their first district game will be Friday, February 24th at home. The girls' basketball team finished their regular season with a record of 15-7 and 9-4 in league play. They hold the 3rd seed in the PIAA 5A District 2 playoffs, and as a result, they would be scheduled to host a quarterfinal playoff round on Wednesday, February 22nd. Wrestling finished the regular season undefeated and claimed the Lackawanna League Division I championship with a 4-0 league record. The Comets finished in 2nd place in the PIAA 3A Team District Championships and ended the season with a 17-1 overall record. District 2 individual championships begin on Friday, February 24th. Both boys and girls swim have competed their regular season meets, and the boys have finished 7-1 and in 2nd place in the league. The girls team finished 4th overall with a 5-3 record. Our divers are coming off a successful showing at the Williamsport Coaches Diving Invitational, where sophomore Ethan Horitz medaled with a 3rd place finish. All 4 divers have qualified for the PIAA District 2/4 Sub-Regional Diving Championships on Friday, February 25th. Our swimmers have the Leigh Richards Invitational at Scranton High School remaining on their schedule before their sub-regional begins on Friday, March 3rd. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have any board reports at this time? Curriculum, Mrs.
Yes.
Henderson?
Okay, the Curriculum Committee met on February 1st. We briefly discussed the comprehensive plan that we're working on. The PDE has delayed the due date for that. It has been pushed out to October 31st, 2023. So we don't have a whole lot to update in that regard. The math curriculum writing update was given. Carnegie Learning has conducted 5 demo lessons, 2 at the middle school level, 2 at the high school level, 1 at the elementary level. The math guiding committee is continuing to work on their vision and framework across all grades. They are also working on portraits of an Abington Heights School District mathematician. Basically, that will spell out what each student, when they finish a grade, will look like. That'll help with some consistency across the different schools and grade levels. They will have a portrait and a description for each grade level, elementary through secondary. Something new and exciting that they shared was there's going to be an elementary math festival held for grades 1 through 4 at CSE on March 22nd. This is the first time they've ever done that. A bunch of different exciting games. I believe high school students are coming down to help with that. So we'll have a lot of parent and student engagement. We are continuing the Art of Coaching book study. I've had the privilege to be a part of that. It has been a great experience. Dr. Vitale and Mr. Preachy have done an amazing job making it very, not just informative, but also collaborative and engaging. Lots of positive feedback from the teachers. I know teachers often speak about how they just, crave more professional development. So I think this has been a great way to reach that type of engagement. One thing that they're doing within the book study is looking at coaching district-wide. How can we coach with the talent that we have within our teaching and create opportunities for our teachers to coach their peers? We also, they put in a request from the AEIOU. They want to create a professional learning environment. So they basically are trying to set up a library. They requested $3,000. Have we heard back? No. Okay. We're also, Dr. Vitale shared, they're also looking at restructuring department chairs and looking to add grade level leaders for each grade so that each grade will have some sort of leadership structure in that. They're also looking at a long-range professional development plan that will be built 3 years out so that we kind of see where we want to go, and they're going to plan out how we're going to get there so that we have a 3-year process. Also, the middle school resiliency course is going to be restructured. Right now, we have guidance counselors teaching those courses, which when grade levels meet, the counselors are teaching a lesson instead of being in those grade level meetings. So they're going to restructure it so that the guidance counselors are still going to teach those, but they're going to work with the grade level teachers to come up with a schedule that works around the classes so that the counselors are going to be available to do more counseling and they'll be in on the grade level meetings. We're also looking at restructuring what is being taught in resiliency. So it's not going to be a one-size-fits-all course. It's going to basically be reflective of what the teachers feel that the students need the most. So that could kind of run the gamut from, time management, study skills, mindfulness. We still have a lot of details to figure out, but that's just the framework of how that's going to be restructured. Mrs. Karam suggested that we institute some sort of digital media literacy program, and Dr. Vitale was happy to share that there actually has been a course added within the new course selection guide. Dr. Vitale was also working with them on creating the course selection guide for next year. There are a lot of updates that I'm going to kind of pass the baton and let her share.
So first of all, I just want to compliment Mrs. Tioni and all the department chairs for working so hard on this curriculum guide to get it before the board. And I really feel that they're being responsive to what students need and what students are asking for. So we've made some course changes. So we are getting rid of oral communications just because it was a fairly redundant course with public speaking. And we're adding public speaking 1 and public speaking 2. So students will still have that experience, but they'll just be able to take a 1 and a 2 selection. We're getting rid of the dramatics course because of low enrollment and low interest, and we're replacing it with a media studies course, which you alluded to, so thank you. In health and phys ed, we're adding a second level to personal physical fitness and lifetime sports and activities, so students would be able to take so personal physical fitness 1, and then they would be able to get another credit towards graduation for the second level of that. In math, we've changed a lot just because math, we are really focused on that in writing curriculum. So we've changed the language of fundamentals of math to algebra foundations. We've renamed a bunch of other courses. So the word modern was in front of some courses. We've just changed it to accelerated. Intro to analysis is a pre-calculus course. Some students didn't understand what intro to analysis was, and that wasn't clear, so we're calling it pre-calculus. And we've changed to make sure that students understand it's Java 1 and Java 2 for computer science. Talking about computer science, we added last year a computer science principles AP course. That is a freshman level course and the introductory course to computer science. And basically what we're hearing is that some of our students, the AP tag was just a little daunting, so we wanted to make sure that we give access points to all of our students, so we're adding a level 2 for that. And then for technology, last year, we were able to move a teacher up to the high school who has woodshop experience, so we were able to offer this year woodworking 1, and lots of students have taken that, which is really exciting, so we want to make sure that we offer them the next level of woodworking 2 for next school year. We've changed computer-aided drafting, so CAD. We had CAD 3, and we're replacing that with Revit 1. It's very similar, just a different program. So we want to make sure our students who are into and looking at a pathway for architecture or engineering have that experience in Revit as well. So kudos to the high school and really being responsive to what students need to make sure that they are well prepared for their next step in life. So thank you. Oh, and if I can just add, that math festival is being funded by the AEIO and you. So we just thank them for their continuous support.
That's wonderful. I think we can hear from the AEIO. You?
Oh, did
I do, just a quick.
Okay, I was gonna- Go ahead.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Acker. Just some updates for the IT committee. The director of IT, Justin, did a little extra due diligence. I came to you in January asking about consideration for an asset management tool, which would help a lot of, keeping track of things so they don't walk away, like our IT devices. And so Justin did a nice job. He found an open source solution for us. So that solution was anywhere between 8,000 and 10,000. So that expense would not be needed. He gave a demo. We looked at it. It's very secure. Open source is the code. It doesn't mean it's open and unsecure. So that'll be nice because he gave a demo and it looks like it's going to work for us. So, he's going to run a pilot to make sure, but I think it'll save us anywhere between $8,000 and $12,000 by not purchasing a formal asset management.
Bill, correct me if I'm wrong, that was an existing program we had access to that was not being utilized.
Yes.
He found it.
Actually, good point. So, and now he had to do a little cleanup. He had to dust it off. But yeah, we never used it. So it's pretty interesting. So kudos to him for doing that due diligence. The other thing is we do have a lot of projects in flight. I gave a very thorough report last week. Our last meeting. And so we decided as a group that we're going to meet for the next couple months, every other month, because everything's in process. We did a lot of design build, a lot of requests for resources, and that's why we're meeting every month. But I think the group agreed that at least for the next few months through the end of school, when we start implementing new projects like Raptor in September, until then, I think every other month is appropriate. So there'll be a schedule change.
Great. Sounds like a lot going on. Mrs. Tierney, now.
Yes, okay. The AEIO did meet yesterday. We got some great proposals. Yes, Mr. Prucci put a great recommendation in for the first annual math festival for all of our elementary students, which will be held in March, and we will be funding that. It's a great opportunity. It's the first annual, and it's for approximately 200 elementary students. So it's a lot of work behind it, and they're excited about it. So yeah, the AEIO is funding that. And also our FBLA group, they've come back to us again for more funding because they have 37 qualifiers for their state competition, which is going to be in Hershey, PA. So we've got a great proposal for that, and it's great stuff because that's over almost 45% of their whole club qualified for the next level. So we are helping to fund that. We did receive a proposal for professional development, and we've decided to table that more to find out more information about it. But thank you for that, and always welcome all proposals. The AEIO is a great group of community members, professionals that really work to help enhance the curriculum for the Abington Heights District. So thanks.
Thank you very much. Mr. Azar.
Sure. The extracurricular committee met in January. I didn't give an update at the last board meeting, so I'll give a brief one. We talked about several topics. On the committee, we have the athletic director, the high school principal, and a handful of coaches and activity leaders. So there's a pretty good number of people in the room when we meet. And there's a lot of stuff that everybody wants to talk about. So for this meeting, we really narrowed it down to just a couple of topics. The two that I'll mention first, we talked a lot about off-season communication amongst Abington Heights coaches and in-season coaches. A very big topic that a lot of coaches talk about today is travel sports in general and how they are great for a lot of kids, but they also compete with our kids. And so we can't control what coaches that are travel coaches are doing, but what we can control is the communication amongst our own coaches, because a lot of our own athletic teams are practicing year round. It's one of the reasons why we've had as much success as we've had, but that brings some conflict. And, we talked a lot about improving the communication amongst the coaches just to help with that. So that was a good talk. The big topic that we talked about, and we spent a good amount of time on it. And I've had a lot of questions in the last couple of weeks from community members about the facility report that KCBA did. And the fact that there was not a lot of material in that report that focused on our extracurricular facilities. And so that was on purpose for the most part, but the assignment was to focus on our academic buildings and our building needs. But as everybody knows that spends time in our buildings, our extracurricular facilities have a significant amount of needs also. So what we asked our athletic director and Mrs. Tioni, the high school principal, to do was to come back to us with a needs and wants list for our facilities, not just athletics either, our auditorium, you name it. Not that we're going to address all these needs and wants immediately, and obviously there's a lot of financial challenges to all of this stuff, but to start with a master list of what the needs are right now, and then also what the wants are. And unlike, I won't say unlike, but I think that extracurricular facilities have a place where there are some creative ways to raise funds out there that a lot of other school districts are doing that we have not done as a school district in the past. So before we get to how we're going to do it, we sort of have to come up with the what, and so that's what we're focused on now.
Very good. Okay, at this time, any other reports? All right, then let's move on to our superintendent's report. Dr. Schaefer?
Okay. Thank you. I do not have a long report. However, I do want to piggyback on what Mr. Azar spoke about with the community feedback for our facility study. On the front of our website, when you go towards the middle of it, there'll be a newsfeed section. On the right-hand side, you'll see a link to the facility study PDF. So everybody has access to that. Once you click on that, what you will see is access to a flyer which advertises the 3 specific feedback sessions that we have. And I just want to reiterate that. So next week, February the 22nd at 6 p.m. at Clark Summit Elementary School, we will be there along with KCBA, the architects who we hired to complete the survey. Our focus will be on all of the elementary schools. That way we can receive targeted feedback and input on our elementary schools. The following week, February the 28th at 6 p.m. at the middle school, we will have a middle school specific session. Same thing will happen. Finally, on March 8th at 6 o'clock at the high school, we will have a session there. I would ask everyone that is either listening, watching to us, or anybody at this room, to remind students and parents to attend these sessions. One of the most dreaded things that I had to do as a parent of 3 was sell raffle tickets because my kids didn't do a good job of it. So with that in mind, Dr. Vitale in her infinite wisdom has put together these little raffle cards with a please scan me to a survey link. So if you're not even able to attend, if you scan this, you could provide us some feedback. So in the comfort of your own home, you could take a look at the facility study and provide us with feedback. It is absolutely critical that we get your feedback. Even if you don't think it's important, it is important. We want it. So with all that in mind, we are going to give a quota of these to our board members and then ask them to disseminate these in their comings and goings over the last week. They do not know about this. So this is a surprise. We'll be passing these down, so feel free to take some. Hopefully you'll see these in your local grocery store as well.
Dr. Schaefer, is it possible to advertise this in the newspapers so other members of our community that don't necessarily have connection directly with the district can have an opportunity to also attend?
Yes, we will do that.
Thank you.
Dr. Schaefer, will these be broadcasted? A couple people asked the question if there's going to be streaming, if you're unable to attend in person. I didn't know if that was an option.
Great question. Let me check with Justin in our tech department. And then that,
Why don't I get the big bunch at the end?
because you have no children at home anymore, that's what.
That is your first batch, Anthony.
And that concludes my report. I believe we're in the
Thank you very much.
public comment.
The next item then is going to be, public comment. We ask that you try to limit your comments to 3 minutes. And please come up when you're called and state your name and where you live. Currently, I have 3 cards. If there are more people that wish to speak, by all means. Kevin Manning.
My name is Kevin Manning, and I live in North Abington Township. I'm here to propose a girls' wrestling team at Abington Heights. My daughter, she's in 6th grade, so it seemed the opportune time to do it. She's been wrestling for 5 years now. And we have many girls come out for our youth club wrestling team. As far as a sport, I feel like the facility's already there. Other than that, there isn't, as far as starting up, a lot of cost to starting a wrestling team. Right now, there are 10 schools in District 2, the district that we wrestle in, that have girls' teams. There are now 100 teams across the state of Pennsylvania. I think there was an article in the paper yesterday that was a goal that they were targeting to get it as a sanctioned PIAA sport. Also with a sanctioned PIAA sport, I believe it also does make more conflict with girls wrestling on the boys' team once it becomes a sport in of itself. So it makes more of a push for schools that girls are interested in wrestling to have a team of their own. There's also, beyond just that, I feel my daughter loves it. I enjoyed wrestling. I think it teaches an immense amount of value, sportsmanship and character building. I played football in college, but I learned more from wrestling in high school than anything I learned in college. There are over 65 NCAA girls wrestling programs with many other club programs. My alma mater, Princeton, has a club wrestling team, as well as 3 other Ivy League schools. There are over 10 NCAA schools in the state of Pennsylvania that have girls wrestling teams. So there's also that idea of advancement, further education, and continuing the sport. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Manning, if I'm not mistaken, your daughter would be the 5th generation of Manning going to Abington Heights?
Correct, yes.
Very good. Thank you very much for your support and for, helping with football teams and sporting teams that the Mannings have done so well over the years.
Thank you.
2 questions. In the past, when we've had, in the past, we've had, other parents come to support sports, and we've always asked them to, cost-wise, give us analysis of the cost, whether it's uniform, and I have no clue of all the items, but even to the point of you have a youth wrestling, availability of coaches, because that's going to be very important. So, is there an assessment that can be done?
I would think that would be done with the athletic director.
Okay.
We have done in the past, when a group has come to the board, we have sat down and, like Greg had said, you have to come with a spreadsheet of exactly all of your costs, how long you've been doing it. And we take that to our athletic department with our superintendent, and we look at that and we take steps with it. The first opportunity is for us to see what your organization's all about. So I would propose with our extracurricular group that we possibly sit with you and get an understanding of what you're talking about, how many students are participating, what your costs would be. If this is a direction that we'd love to see activities for students. So, we've had a protocol in place, with our lacrosse programs. They had youth program for quite a few years, self-sustaining, and then after that 7 year of being self-sustained, they came back to us, and we now have both boys and girls lacrosse. So it's a process, And we welcome you to entertain, what you are offering to us, to listen to you, okay?
Yep, I can say the youth club here is well over 50 years and been together over 50 years. K through sixth grade, Summit Wrestling.
So-
It's both, boys, girls.
So, while I won't be able to give you a definitive answer, what I can tell you with certainty is that girls wrestling is the fastest growing sport in the country. And as Mr. Manning mentioned, yesterday on February the 14th, they crossed an important procedural hurdle within PIAA and having 100 schools sign on. And this actually started in February of 2022 when the PIAA sanctioned girls wrestling as an emerging sport. I have no reason to believe that under the direction of Mr. Lombardi, Dr. Lombardi at the PIAA, that they will move forward with sanctioning girls wrestling. All indications appear that way. So from our standpoint, as Ms. Tierney had mentioned, along with Enrico, we'll do our due diligence and go through all of the costing out from facilities to travel to funding to coaches. I believe Mr. Mirabelli has a good idea now on what the cost of the average athletic program would be. But at the end of the day, I'm just happy to know that you have a daughter that's interested in athletics. And I do believe that Abington Heights is the place to be for any athletic endeavor, and especially with our history of wrestling here. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Next would be Cheryl Boga.
Rod.
Mr. I apologize.
So I won't take long. I just want to add, I think that this is different. And I want to make sure that everybody thinks about this as we all, leave today. Wrestling is the only sport, and it's been like this for decades, that there's not a counter sport for girls. Football has field hockey in the fall season. Every other sport, there's a counter sport. Mr. Manning and Mr. Acker's alma mater, not many people know this, lost wrestling for a period of time because of Title IX. And it was brought back. One of my high school teammates